Good evening. In this session, I'm going to discuss about vector resultant. In different cases, how we are going to use this concept, we are going to learn now. So, already we learned resultant of vectors. Suppose P bar and Q bar are two vectors simultaneously acting on a point. The resultant is given by R bar is equal to P bar plus Q bar. And from parallelogram law of vectors, resultant of two vectors is represented by the diagonal drawn from the same point. See here, suppose this is a point on which two vectors P bar and Q bar are simultaneously acting at an angle theta. So, we have completed a parallelogram with P bar Q bar as the adjacent sides of the parallelogram. Then the diagonal drawn from the same point represents their resultant both in magnitude and direction. So, the magnitude of the resultant is given by root of P square plus Q square plus 2PQ cos theta. And the angle made by the resultant with P is given by tan alpha is equal to Q sin theta by P plus Q cos theta. So, that concept we'll be using. And the next one is resolution of a given vector into its components. Look here, suppose a vector is, see, let this be the x-axis, let this be the y-axis. This is a vector A bar making an angle theta with x-axis. Then this component is called x component and this component is called y component. See here, actually this is a vector A bar. The length of the arrow represents the magnitude. This length is A and its projection on x-axis. This is AX, scalar component of A bar along x-axis, and this is its projection on y-axis is AY. Let this be the x-axis, this be the y-axis. And the vector is making an angle theta with x-axis, then its component along x-axis is A cos theta and along y-axis is A sin theta. If the vector is represented as A bar is equal to AX I bar plus AY J bar. So, AX I bar, AY J bar. Then the magnitude of the vector is, see, if this is AY, this is AY, opposite sides are equal. So, A is equal to, from Pythagoras theorem, square root of AX square plus AY square. And angle made by the vector with x-axis, tan theta is equal to AY by AX. Actually, this we have studied thoroughly well regarding these two. In finding out the resultant in different ways, again we will be using this. That's why I just revised that. Now, look here. First, I'll explain you a problem. That is, look here, number of forces simultaneously acting on a point are represented as shown. See here, see, let this be x-axis, this is minus x-axis, this is y-axis, this is minus y. I bar, unit vector along x-axis, minus I bar, unit vector along negative x-axis. J bar along unit vector along positive x-axis, minus J bar unit vector along negative x-axis. Here, number of forces simultaneously acting on the point O are represented like this. One force is acting along this direction, another force is acting along this direction, and another force is acting along this direction, and another force is acting along this direction. So, let us, this is 20 Newton force acting at an angle 53 degrees. This is 10 root 2 Newton force acting at an angle 45 degrees with x-axis. And this is 10 Newton force just acting along y-axis. This is a vector p bar acting at an angle alpha with negative x-axis. Here, it's a previous question. Here, the question is the number of forces represented, keep that point simultaneously acting on the point O, keep it in equilibrium, then find magnitude of the vector p bar and alpha. So, in just from that diagram, if all these forces together keep this point in equilibrium, you are asked to find the magnitude of this force and angle made by that force with negative x-axis, that is alpha. Now, let us take this as F1. So, F1, I am writing it in the vector form. Its component along x-axis 20 cos 53 I bar. Its component along y-axis 20 sin 53. But this is negative y-axis minus j bar. Now 20 cos 53 is 3 by 5 I bar minus 20 sin 53 is 4 by 5 j bar. So here this is 8I minus 4 3s are 12. This is 12I minus 16j. So F1 bar is equal to 12I minus 16j. That is F1 bar. So I am writing this here. F1 bar is equal to 12I minus 16j. And coming to F2. See, let us try to find out F2 here. So this is F2 bar is 10 root 2, its component along x-axis cos 45 I bar, its component along y-axis is 10 root 2 sin 45 positive y-axis j bar. Cos 45 is 1 by root 2, root 2 gets cancelled, 10I, sin 45 is also 1 by root 2, so 10j. So F2 is equal to 10I plus 10j. Now coming to F3, it is just acting along y-axis, that is equal to 10j bar. And the final vector is p bar. So here it is mentioned all the four forces together, F1 bar plus F2 bar plus F3 bar plus p bar, keep that point in equilibrium. So if you add all these three, or from that if you keep this aside, so from this p bar is equal to minus of F1 bar plus F2 bar plus F3 bar, meaning p bar is the equilibrant of F1, F2, F3. Now here, from this F1 bar plus F2 bar plus F3 bar, 12 plus 10, it is 22 I bar. 16 plus 10, 26 plus 10, that is 36 j bar. So 12 plus 10, 22 I bar minus 16 plus 10, minus 16 plus 10, it is just 6 j bar. It is minus 6 j bar. Minus 16 plus 10, it is minus 6 j bar. So p bar is equal to minus 22I minus of minus plus 6j. So we could find that p in the vector form. So I am writing here P bar is equal to minus 22I plus 6j. What is its magnitude? Root of 22 square plus 6 square. So whatever you get, we just write it there. So here if we can take that 2 square as common factor. So 2, 11 square plus 3 square. So 2 root 121 plus 9, it is 130. So the magnitude of P is 2 root 130. And alpha, actually this is minus 22I plus 6j. So where is this vector? This is in this x coordinate is negative, y coordinate is positive. So vector is in the second quadrant. Alpha is equal to opposite side, tan alpha is opposite side by adjacent side. So alpha is equal to tan inverse, opposite side is 6 by 22 in the clockwise direction with negative x-axis. So that's how we find out the equilibrant of number of forces. Equilibrant is nothing but negative vector of the resultant. So same kind of problem, I'll give another model just for practice. Look here, or you can take down the problem. Number of vectors simultaneously acting on a point, keeping it in equilibrium, are represented in this figure. One force is acting along this direction, another force is acting along this direction, another force is acting in this direction, and another force is acting along this direction. And another is acting along this direction on the point O. So here, look here, let this be positive x-axis and this is negative x-axis, this is y-axis, minus y, I bar, j bar, minus I bar, minus j bar. This is 15 Newton at an angle 53 degrees with y-axis. This is 5 Newton acting along x-axis. And this is 20 root 2 Newton making an angle 45 degrees with this x-axis. And this is P bar. You are asked to find alpha psi. And all the vectors together are keeping that point in equilibrium. Starting with this as F1. F1 is 15 along the adjacent side. 15 cos 53, this is negative y-axis minus j bar. 15 along the opposite side. Sin 53 plus I bar along positive x-axis. Sin 53 is 4 by 5 I bar. Cos 53 is 3 by 5 j bar. So this is 12I minus 9j. F1 bar is 12I minus 9j. Is it okay? It is 15 sin 53, 4 by 5. So it is 12I minus 9j. And F2 bar is equal to 5 Newton. It is straight. F3 bar is equal to 20 root 2 cos 45, 20 root 2 sin 45. It just becomes 20 I bar plus 20 j bar. F3. And 1, 2, 3 and then P bar. So here, as all of them are keeping that point in equilibrium, P bar will be the equilibrant of the remaining three forces. F1 bar plus F2 bar plus F3 bar. So let us write minus F1 bar, I am writing it here. It is 12I minus 9j. 12y minus 9j. And F2 is 5i bar. So F1 plus F2 plus F3. 12 plus 5. 17 plus 20. It is 37 I bar. Minus 9 plus 20 plus 11 j bar. So P bar is equal to minus 37i plus 11j. So the magnitude of P bar is just square root of 37 square plus 11 square, and angle made is alpha is equal to tan inverse ay by ax in this direction, that is clockwise with negative x-axis. Negative x-axis. So exactly those two problems are similar models. So we can extend this. So based on this concept, starting from MCET, even in JEE Advanced, there are problems like that. Now let us see. Here reference directions, east, north, all those things we are going to learn now. See here, we take this as east and vector representing east is I bar. This is west minus I bar. This is north j bar. This is south, it is minus j bar. Okay, so here I am just giving a problem to find out the displacement, final displacement. Here the problem given is like this. A body moves 10 meters at 37 degrees north of east, then 20 meters north, then 20 meters at 53 degrees south of west, then 10 meters east. Find its displacement. Find its displacement. See here, if you draw the diagram and do that, the problem looks complex. But in the vector, if you take all these things in vector notation, problem becomes simple. So I am telling you the simple method to find the displacement. See here, let us look into the solution. It is moving 10 meters at 37 degrees north of east. 10 meters at 37 degrees north of east. This is north, this is east. So this is northeast. So along this direction. I'll mark the angle later. Next 20 meters north. 20 meters north. Another displacement is 20 meters north. And another displacement is 20 meters at 53 degrees south of west. So south of west. This one. And 10 meters east. Another displacement is 10 meters east. Now look here. 10 meters at 37 degrees north of east. We have to start from east. We have to move towards north through an angle 37 degrees. So the first displacement is 10 meters at an angle 37 degrees north of east. Second is 20 meters north. And then it moved through a distance 20 meters at 53 degrees south of west. So this is west. Starting from west, turn through an angle 53 degrees south. So this is 53 degrees south of west and its displacement is 20 meters. Then 10 meters east. Then 10 meters east. Now starting from this point, let us write that in the vector form. S1 bar. It is 10. Its component along this axis cos 37. Cos 37 I bar. This is east is taken as I bar. Its component along y-axis. This is 10 sin 37 j bar. 10 sin 37 j bar. Now coming to this one, 20 meters. It is, see, let us first simplify this one. Cos 37 is 4 by 5. So it is 8 I bar. Sin 37 is 3 by 5. It is 6 j bar. This is S1. And coming to S2. It is 20 meters along north. It has no component along east and it is 20 j bar. Next S3. Again, let us write it in the vector form. 20 meters, its component along x-axis 20, adjacent side 53 minus I bar. And along this, it is 20 sin 53 along negative y-axis minus j bar. South is taken as minus j bar. So if you simplify that, minus 20 cos 53 is 3 by 5, 4 3s are 12, minus 12i, sin 53 is 4 by 5, minus 16j. So, and the next one is 10 meters east. This one, this is done already. This is 10 meters, this is S3. Next is S4, 10 meters east. So, we could find S1, S2, S3, S4. Now, the net displacement, the resultant displacement is S1 bar plus S2 bar plus S3 bar plus S4 bar. Right? So, here, look here. S1. S1 is 8i. 8 plus 0 minus 12 plus 10. Right? So, here 8 plus 0 minus 12 plus 10. So, this is 6. Isn't it? 18 minus 12. So, it is 6 I bar. Now, let us add all the j components. 6, 20, 6 plus 20 minus 16 plus, that's it. Here, there is no j component. So, this is 26 minus 16, it is 10. 26 minus 16, it is 10. So, 6i plus 10j. This is the resultant displacement. So, the magnitude of the resultant displacement is root of 6 square plus 10 square, that is root 136. So, S is equal to, magnitude is S is equal to root 136 meters. So, we could find out the magnitude. Coming to the direction, look here. This is east, this is west, this is north, this is south. It has I bar and j bar. So, it is in the first quadrant. So, here x component is 6 and y component is 10. Suppose if you want to mention this angle, I am finding out the direction of the displacement. So, displacement is 136 root 136 meters at an angle tan inverse 10 by 6, 5 by 3, north of east. Look into that representation very carefully. See here, 6i plus 10j. So, its x component is 6, y component is 10. From this, tan alpha is opposite side by adjacent side, 10 by 6, that is 5 by 3. Now, with reference to east, it is at an angle tan inverse 5 by 3 north with respect to east. So, we write it as root 136 meters at tan inverse 5 by 3 north of east. So, this problem on the concept of displacement is very often asked in the examination. So, look here, just I am showing that entire problem now. So, first we have taken all the displacements in the vector form and we found the resultant, and then magnitude and direction of the resultant is found. So, just for practice, I am giving you another problem to you. All of you must tell me the correct answer before me. Okay. So, ahead of me. So, look here. A body, the problem is like this. A body moves 20 meters northeast. 20 meters, not northeast, at an angle 20 meters at an angle 30 degrees north of east. 10 root 2 meters southwest. Then 20 meters south. Find its displacement. Find its displacement. So, here a body moves 20 meters at 37 degrees north of east. 37 degrees north of east. 10 root 2 meters southwest and then 20 meters south. Find its displacement. So, here this is east, this is west, this is north, this is south. This is I bar, this is minus I bar, this is J bar, this is minus J bar. Right? 20 meters at 37 degrees north of east. So, this is 20 meters at an angle 37 degrees north of east. Right? 10 root 2 southwest. Look here. Southwest means it is exactly making 45 degrees with both south direction and west direction. So, 10 root 2 meters southwest. So, it is here. And then 20 meters south, just along this direction, 20 meters. Look here, S1 bar is equal to 20 cos 37 I bar plus 20 sin 37 J bar. Cos 37 is 4 by 5. So, again, this is 16I. Sin 37 is 3 by 5. It is 12 J bar. So, S1 is 16I plus 12J. S1 bar is equal to 16I plus 12J. Now, let us write S2 bar, this one. Right? Its X component. So, directly you can write actually. S2 bar is equal to 10, this is 10 root 2 meters. 10 root 2 cos 45 is 10. 10 root 2 sin 45 is 10. So, it is 10 along west direction minus I, 10 along south direction minus J. So, this is minus 10I minus 10J. And then south, that is S3. South is just I, it is south is minus J, it is minus 20J. So, look here, I am repeating the problem. This is 20 cos 37, that is 16 I bar plus 12 J bar. This is minus 10I minus 10J and this is minus 20J. So yes, resultant displacement is S1 plus S2 plus S3 implies S bar is equal to 16 minus 10. It is 6i. 12 minus 10 minus 20. So it is 12 minus 30. So it is minus 18 j bar. So that is the resultant displacement. We suppose if we are asked to find out the magnitude and direction of the resultant displacement. So here just to find, this is east, this is west, north, south, I bar minus I bar, j bar minus j bar. X is positive, Y is negative. This is in this quadrant. X component is 6 and Y component is 18. Y component is 18. This is alpha. So, magnitude of the displacement is root of 6 square plus 18 square. If you take that 6 as a common factor, 1 square plus 3 square, it is 6 root 10 meters. And direction is alpha is equal to tan inverse 18 by 6. That is 3. 18 by 6. What is this direction? Tan inverse 3 south of east. South of east. This is very important. See here, this is the angle. This angle is alpha southwards with respect to east. So we say alpha is equal to tan inverse 3 south of east. So in that case, the net displacement of the body is 6 root 10 meters at an angle tan inverse root 3 south of east. So using the vector concept, you can find out the resultant displacement by finding the resultant of number of displacements. And the next concept based on the resultant of vectors is we are going to see river boat problems. That is based on resultant velocity. Based on resultant velocity, we are going to see river boat problems. River boat problems. So here, now, I am telling you, VB, the notation first. VB is velocity of boat. VW is taken as velocity of water in the river. S is the displacement of the boat in time t. S is the displacement of the boat in time t. In time t. Now, the first case is if the boat is moving down the stream. If the boat is moving down the stream. That is, this is water velocity, this is boat velocity. If both of them are in the same direction, then we say boat is moving down the stream. So, when two vectors are in the same direction, then the resultant becomes sum of the magnitudes of the two vectors. So, VB plus VW, that is equal to displacement by time. So, if the boat is moving down the stream, VB plus VW is equal to S by T. So, that is the first one. Now, coming to the second concept. If the boat is moving up the stream, that means if water is moving in this direction, boat is moving in the opposite direction. Then as they are in, the two vectors are in opposite direction, resultant magnitude is the difference of their magnitudes. VB minus VW, that is equal to S by T. Very obviously, this tree and this tree are different. Displacements are also different. Just Here VB is velocity of boat, VW is velocity of water, and S is the displacement of the boat in time t when it is moving up the stream. Here S is the displacement of the boat in time t when it is moving down the stream. So exactly in the same way in the third case, with its engine off. When the engine is off, the boat just floats, or when the boat is floating, then its resultant velocity is just becomes velocity of water, because it has no velocity of its own. Its engine is off. So its resultant velocity is nothing but it just moves along with water flow. So its resultant velocity is VW. If S is the displacement in time t when the boat is floating, VW is equal to S by T. Similarly, when the water is still, when the boat is moving in still water, so water is not moving, that implies velocity of water is 0. In still water means velocity of water is 0, just the boat has its own velocity VB. If S is the displacement in time t in still water, then VB is equal to S by T. You should have all those 4 points in your mind. You can do any problem when the boat is moving down the stream or up the stream or in still water, or when the boat is floating. So again, the first case I talked about is when the boat is moving down the stream, VB plus VW is equal to S by T. When the boat is moving up the stream, VB minus VW is equal to S by T. When the boat is floating, then VW is equal to S by T. When the boat is moving in still water, VB is equal to S by T. Now, I'll give you one problem. So, a boat takes 3 hours to cover a distance, 3 hours to cover a distance down the stream. To cover the same distance, to cover the same distance, it takes 6 hours up the stream. Find the time taken by it. Find the time taken by it to cover the same distance in still water. 2. Find the time taken to cover the same distance when it is floating or when its engine is off. That is the question. So, a boat takes 3 hours to cover a distance down the stream. So, I am telling you the solution now. Look here. It is when moving down the stream, the resultant velocity is VB plus VW is equal to S by T. Here, time taken to cover the distance down the stream is 3 hours. And it covers the same distance up the stream in 6 hours. When it is moving up the stream, VB minus VW, it is equal to S, because it covered the same distance but in 6 hours now. So the next equation is VB minus VW is equal to S by 6. What is asked? What is the time taken to cover the same distance in still water? So, suppose if water velocity is 0, if VW in still water, water velocity is 0, VB is equal to the same distance, how much time is asked. So, you are asked to find from this, you are asked to find S by VB is how much. From these two equations, to get VB, Shall we add the two equations or subtract one from the other? S by VB we need to find. So VW has to be eliminated. To eliminate VW from these two equations, what shall we do? Shall we add or subtract? So we have to add these two equations. Then 2VB is equal to S by 3 plus S by 6. So 2VB is equal to S into 1 by 3 plus 1 by 6, or S into, if you take 6 as LCM, 2 plus 1, 3 by 2. So 2VB is equal to S by 2, or S by VB is the time taken to cover the same distance in still water on applying cross multiplication, that is 4 hours. That is the answer. So to cover the same distance in still water, the boat takes 4 hours. Right? And the next thing is, what is asked? When the boat is floating, what is the time taken to cover the same distance? See, look here. When the boat is floating, what is the time taken to cover the same distance? This one. So, I am talking about the second part of the problem. So, when the boat is floating, VW is 0. So, VB is equal to S by T. Now, this time we need to find out. That is nothing but S by VB is asked. In still water, actually in still water, water velocity is 0. So, when the boat is floating, not VW 0, isn't it? When the boat is floating, boat velocity is 0. Then the resultant velocity of the boat is just equal to water velocity, that is VW. So, VW is S by T, this T you need to find out. So, stay back, think a little, look into these two equations. Now, what is asked? Time T is equal to S by VW. From these two equations, which has to be eliminated? VB. To eliminate VB, subtract equation 2 from 1. So, subtracting 2 from equation 1 implies, what do we get? VB gets cancelled. VW minus of minus VW, it becomes 2VW. That is, if you take that S as a common factor outside, that is 1 by 3 minus 1 by 6, because you are subtracting this. This implies 2VW is equal to S into, if you take 6 as LCM, 2 minus 1, that is S by 6. And we want T, which is equal to S by VW. So, from this, S by VW is equal to 2 6 are 12 hours. So, this is the answer. So, now, in the question it is given, a boat takes 3 hours to move down the stream a certain distance, and it takes 6 hours to cover the same distance up the stream. You are supposed to find out what is the distance covered by the boat to cover the same, what is the time taken by the boat to cover the same distance in still water, and then when the boat is floating. So, okay. So, that is one example for the resultant velocity. Once again, we use the concept of vectors. When two vectors are in the same direction, their resultant is sum of their magnitudes. When two vectors are in opposite direction, then the resultant is the difference of two vectors. Okay. So, I'll stop here for today. Another example I am going to tell you on resultant is boat crossing a river. Okay. That I'll continue in the next session. Thank you and bye-bye.